Sing in me, muse, and through me tell the story of those people skilled in all ways of contending. The Dragonlords, harried by fate and prophecy. Sing of the cities they saw, of the minds they learned of distant peoples, and weathering many bitter nights and days deep in their hearts, while they fought to save their homes and the lives of all Thyleans. Of these adventurers, muse, most sacred of daughters, tell us in our time, lift the great song again. Welcome, everybody, to Oathsworn, our Odyssey the Dragonlords campaign here at TPK Roleplay. My name is Turk, or Turk Extended, and I have the distinct pleasure of being your dungeon master for the evening. But I am certainly not alone. I have a whole group of wonderful storytellers here with me around the fire. Why don't we quickly go around the virtual table here and introduce ourselves, starting with Conrad.
Hey, I'm Comrade Crash. My character's name is Leo Dracos, the human paladin. He walks the vanished one epic path. And next up is Sir Hecla.
Hey guys, it's me, Sir Hecla. Tonight I am playing Calliope, the officially College of Epic Poetry bard, who walks the path of the Dragon Slayer, moving it on over to HP.
I am the last hit point hero, and tonight I will be playing Threnos, the Siren Sorcerer, reluctant demigod. Over to Tony.
Hello, everybody. Bob Ross and I here are playing Eliana Lugid, the High Elf prophetic cleric who walks the path of the Gifted One. Pass it upwards to Al.
Hello, it's Al the Biffer, and I'm playing Ponos, the Satyr rogue, who is the cursed one. Now hand up to Chrissy.
Hey guys, my name's Chrissy. I will be playing Defera Adamos. She is the Medusa Warlock, and she is walking the epic path of the Haunted One. Back to you, Turk.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me once again. Why don't we rejoin our brave adventurers? Before we do, does anyone want to recap what happened last time really quick?
God. Yeah, we got this neat little stone, not knowing what it did, and then we got to go into a dreamland sequence where we were the cellar races, hanging out with Esther Archelander?
Estoria Calendar, yes.
And his copper dragon Archirania?
Archirania.
Okay, pronunciation. We kind of had anywhere from full control to maybe just passive sight of different individuals. We were tasked with going and figuring a way to stop the Gyagons. Gyagons, yes. This is the worst recap. Okay. So anyway, we had to destroy some siege weaponry and maybe stop the dude that was making them. We chose the sneaky deaky Trojan horse route. We surprisingly did it. We did the tasks. And super duper murdered the leader, like just somebody named Nestor may or may not have murdered the ever-loving shit out of everything he touched.
It is what I do.
And when we got them to sign the treaty, Esther decided to just give them a big middle finger and just started slaying them all anyway. Archirania was kind of upset, like very, very upset. When we got back to the tent, it was kind of messed up, and the sequence ended, which we talked with Versi, where we found out more about ourselves through her future vision that is beyond mine. And she told me that apparently she's my aunt, and I have questions.
I want to make sure I had that right in my head. Something like that, yeah.
Yes,
But
purple
yeah,
Gary Gygax.
the Gary Gygax. But yes, you all learned of the honestly horrific past of the Order of the Dragonlords, the order that you have all been fated to recreate and become great heroes of this land once again. But their fate is not yours, and as we spoke about briefly, a act of malice does not cancel out an act of beneficence, nor does an act of beneficence remove the stain of that act of malice. And so you're going to have to make a future of your own with those sins weighing you down. But that's a lot of heavy philosophical talk. And I think we are going to jump right back in to the Temple of the Oracle, deep below in the bowels, where you've all just received your prophecy. Well, except for Leo, who Versi has mentioned that she'll deliver that to you privately in the next room. She has an important matter to discuss with you before that. But for the moment, you all simply just received it. Kira appears not necessarily despondent, but noticeably quieter than usual. And in fact, she'll step off to the side. Whenever you're all ready to go, I'll be up here making sure everyone's still not dead.
Apparently, the gods really do work miracles. She hasn't just drone on.
Well, what would you like to do? Not all at once, please.
So stone in hand, because I don't remember if I gave it back to Versi yet or not.
No, you're given it, and she gave you the opposite one. So you now have 2 stone.
Ah, shit! Because I was gonna do something else then. Well, there goes that plan. I'll kind of like look around, and so you all saw that too, and see what we got to deal with.
I did. I will admit that it doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, I can understand. And not really what you told about everything.
It's odd how history changes who and what we call a hero.
History recalls Esther Archelander in its own way.
Well, it should see him as a idiot.
An idiot.
One as successful as him often finds a unique niche, even if his success comes at the cost of many lives. But, like so many other terrible peoples, he has been lost, assumed dead, hopefully after all these years. But they never found his ship.
And they never found. And she like looking at the stones, and did they ever find Oceania?
A bond between a dragon lord and their dragon is a deep one and is not easily broken. Histories don't speak of what occurred to Oceania after this event. As far as I'm aware, Oceania vanished.
Unfortunate.
But maybe she's still out there somewhere, looking where you least expect her. She always did have a terrible sense of humor like that, I think.
Oh.
She was something else.
From what I could see through Victor's eyes, she knew a couple of good jokes.
That's good.
There
Well,
is
yes.
something I did wonder, though. You said that the bond's not easily broken, but look, they said something similar themselves. But that does imply it can be broken. Correct?
Yes. If I speak of the weight and its difficulty in breaking because it is not merely a bond of words or meaning like so many other bonds here and oaths. It's a life connection. If the rider or the dragon dies while their bond is maintained, the other has to act quickly or they too shall perish. They share a heart in many ways. But if the oath is broken, as you saw at the beginnings at the end of that vision, then it's possible Akarania could survive, even if Estoria does not. And there are stranger fates than a powerful woman breaking away from a terrible man.
I would just hate to see her suffer with the connection to him.
Unfortunately, you can only focus on the present. It's Akarania's bond to bear. But yes, there is much to do. 3 tasks and labors to complete. And from there, you will hopefully see the way. Do you know where you'll go?
Well, it sounds like a lot of this heads us to Estoria.
At least a place to start.
Be nice to go home for just a quick visit, in a sense.
Well, if I haven't been able to travel much, but I find any city that is the home of Pythor is very often is not just a brief visit.
Right.
Oracle, do you have any pull in Astoria?
I am respected across the land. Those who know how to find me come and seek my wisdom. I don't know of my political sway, but certainly Pythor is one who would take my word with some weight. Why do you ask?
I would like to find the opportunity to speak with Pythor at some point.
As I understand from your, and it looks back to Kira, from certain events that I have heard, you offered him a sacrifice of the Great Boar, did you not?
I did.
And the news of not only your accomplishments there or not just of your accomplishments there, but of my prophecy surrounding you have reached far and wide. Has that been your experience thus far?
It has been interesting for those to hear of us before we arrive.
I think you will find that you will have your chance, should you wish. I've at least seen that.
Would you recommend we go anywhere specific when we arrive?
Oh, it's been entirely too long since I've been to Estoria, but likely they have wonderful wines and the Agora is beautiful. If you need a place to stay, there's a large living quarters area that you should be able to find decent places. But specifically for the Horn of Balmitia, you'll be looking for the dragon shrine. As I understand, I believe the current priest there is named Aesop.
Aesop.
Yes. But, you know, there's a particularly good public house that I will not ruin my more divine-ish visage by mentioning how I came to find it, but suffice to say, the Dragon's Tooth is a good place to pick up on all sorts of things.
More of a Ponos kind of place then.
I think Ponos could feel right at home if he didn't perhaps also want to check out the small arena sorts. A public amphitheater hosts many occasions. In fact, if my priests are correct, the wine festival should be coming up soon. They'll likely have some plays going on when you arrive, if you time it correctly. Small festival at the very least. You'll find many who will open your doors to you. Estoria is a friendly place under the guidance of a friendly, at the very least man.
Suppose that settles us and gives us reason to make haste.
Right.
Be sure to speak to Proteus before you leave. You'll want to thank you.
One little detail.
Of course.
So, and Eliana will cross her arms. Could you mind explaining to me how you're my aunt? Because you cannot see the family resemblance here.
We may be of different races, but allow me to explain what my vision showed. There was a fog partitioning off a family tree. I could not tell you how close the branches grew together, but I knew they connected to the same trunk. It felt the right word to use.
Right.
You're not a child of, well, one of the Titans as far as I can tell. Sidon, Lutheria, I don't see their blood in you. But perhaps my vision is clouded. Consult the amulet I gave you.
She'll kind of hold it in her hand. Right. And well, I can just ask Mom about grandmother. I'm sure that will go over swimmingly.
I encourage you to investigate as much as you like. But like I said, it's clouded to me. Hopefully you can find a better answer.
I intend to.
Anyone else have anything, or may I steal away Leo? She'll take your silence and hook Leo's arm and begin walking back to her chamber.
Don't forget to hydrate.
It's steamy down here already.
Exactly. It's all the more reason to keep liquid in your system.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, Leo, you enter. You enter the private chamber where so recently she was bound. A moment after you turn, she kind of throws herself into your arms into a big embrace again, and kind of like puts her head on your shoulder, just for a long moment. A deep, like tight hug, not so tight that you feel restrained, but certainly, she seems to want to make this moment last.
Yeah, and I think Leo is not reciprocating, I think, at this point. He's like tapping her, but just letting her do her thing until she's done hugging it out.
Do my powers frighten you so? You not embrace me anymore, as you once did?
No, it's not that. It was the vision. When we were in camp, we stared at the stars, and we noticed something particular. They were my stars.
Yes, it was a vision of the past.
Yes. But Ilana also said it was maybe 500 years in the past.
Yes.
I don't remember this.
Well, we've had our, and she'll do that thing with her two fingers. She kind of like plays up your shoulder with them. We've had our little fun for a while. I just need to keep you safe and with me.
I think he blushes like for a second and stuff. No, I know you keep me safe. It's just, and then yeah, like he looks away, then looks straight into her eyes. I was a Dragonlord once, was I not?
As you told me, and as I remember you, and you will be one again, I think, if you want.
No, of course. It comes to me in waves. I always dreamed about that, but was I as terrible as he was? Esther, I mean?
Leo, my dear Leo, my brave lion. Do you think you were as terrible as he was? Do you think you could possibly summon that up out of yourself?
No.
Do you think I would love a man as terrible as Esther Ockelander?
No. And I think that's when he kind of like puts his hands on her and starts to feel warmed up again, I guess. Hey.
No, and she'll like definitely take the hug, and resting her head on you, she'll kind of just like push. She'll kind of just like head pressed against your shoulder. She softly says, "Would you swear an oath to me?"
Of course.
It's not one made lightly.
And then, yeah, like I think he pulls her back. I never take my oaths lightly.
Good. Swear to me, on your word and honor, Leo Dracos, Dragonlord of old, returned, that when you have fulfilled the prophecy and to cast down my father and his sister, you'll return to me.
I think, yeah, from B, he takes a deep breath, like, but I think Leo's like, of course, I swear to you. After.
And she puts a hand to the side of your face and smiles more deeply. Good. And let me tell you what I saw in the vision. Your brother's armor. It waits for you in the Tomb of Xander. You must travel there and recover not only the armor, but the helm that will give you the prestige and power you require to reclaim your title. be careful. There are so many dangers on the road before you, and
Don't worry. I'll be as careful as a mouse.
brave as the lion.
Exactly.
And she'll kiss your cheek, and step back.
And then, yeah, like, I think he just kind of like psychs himself up. Your will will be done. I swear it. My lady.
My goodness, my will. I don't really care much for my will. I care more for what your will is. But return to me nonetheless, with your shield or on it. I will bring you back. Or find a way to be with you again.
Yeah, I think he nods and then heads out. And as he gets like maybe like 10 paces away, he kind of stops and then like turns and is like, did I ever tell you about her? My dragon, I mean.
A bit in the beginning, before you start to forget. It'll come back, I'm certain, but don't let it destroy you.
No, I don't like to think too hard as it is. And he smiles and heads off to find his friends.
Okay, so you're all free to head up. Ponos, that rug, that bear rug, is available if you want to make a bit of a cloak out of it. The tears in it have actually worked out such that you can kind of get like the bear, either style it as like the bear head on a shoulder or the two claws and kind of like use it as like a hoodie sometimes, though it's gonna be a little bit difficult with your horns. It'll probably look more like...
My horns will just poke through the eye holes.
There you go.
In a very terrifying visage.
God, I love it. But you all make your way to the top level of the Temple of the Oracle. I'm going to pull you guys over to the Heartlands map, where the followers of the Oracle have kind of begun to gather. Generally recovered from their endeavors, some still very clearly shaken, and a few of them beginning to dispose of some bodies of, large doors and the doors that bleed, oddly enough, and a few soldiers. But they are being given proper rights, from what you can tell. But they're definitely gonna have to burn this one outside of the waterfall and hot baths. But there you will see your guy you freed. It's a bit of an ambiguous term. Proteus. Again, older man. I'll flash him up on screen in case anyone forgot. With his long white beard. And well done, friends. I am deeply in your in your graces. Oh, wait, sorry, you hit me in the head. I'm deeply in your debt for what you've done for my lady. You freed her from the grates, from that terrible hag. Please, he motions aside, and an attendant has a small bag that he'll hand out, opening the top to reveal 6 potions of healing. A small token of our thanks and as much well wish that we can provide for your journey. Though I fear it may be too much for even prophesized heroes to do. I have heard the labors through the steam that you must complete. These are not simple tasks. He'll kind of allow the doubt to hang for a second, but he'll straighten himself. The future of Thylea may be bleak, but there is always hope. The people of this land will look to your actions as a sign of things to come. Seek neither fame nor fortune, but show them the true meaning of heroism. Make yourselves a beacon of light as we enter this time of darkness, and go with the blessing of this temple. And with that manumission delivered, he will return to his duties, making sure the flames keep burning, and honestly, mostly just helping calm down a lot of the younger acolytes. But Kira will also be standing right at the front of the pillars there, with her hands on her hips, looking a bit more self-assured. Kind of throw her head back. So we gonna wait, or we getting out of here?
Oh, she's gained her chipper little attitude now.
Never lost it. I just figured you needed a little bit of, cool down time. Or maybe we don't use it more than I do.
She has a point this time. Anyway, I think we are ready to go.
So, to Estoria, right? Fun.
I believe that is our path.
Believe or no, two different things. But either way, here, why don't we step out really quick? And she'll kind of begin ushering you to the front of the cave, just a few feet. All right, look. Listen to me. Forget what Proteus said, okay? This is your chance to win fame beyond your wildest dreams. Get me? Like, you want fame, right? Of course you do. No? Oh, come on. All great heroes want fame. Fame is the path to immortality.
Not a fan, personally.
All right, let me pitch it like this. The great labors are just the beginning, all right? Just like she said, there's got to be more after this. The path ahead of you will be filled with opportunities for winning fame. Ooh, they are going to sing your names. I need to write the songs. Ooh, get the copyright on that. But if you truly manage to rise to fame and confront the Titans, then gosh, I figure everyone's going to be singing about you sooner rather than later.
See, now we're talking. It's all very well being a beacon of light for that old fella, but he wasn't being much of a beacon of light when he was being beaten up in a corner by some lads that are just roaming around. See, fame and fortune, wine, songs, dancing. Now, this is all I can get behind. That's why I'm blessed with a name that rhymes with anything. See, you make up any song about heroics, heroic charisma. My name rhymes with all of it. It's perfect.
Charismatic heroics.
That's literally what they call me. Everywhere, but not here. I wouldn't want it to be here, but everywhere else. I mean, you go there and they'll say it, but I wouldn't want to pressure you into that here. But if you wanted to say that, you could. I wouldn't mind.
I'll jot it down. Of course, I'll be joining you, right? As your little guide, explorer.
Yeah, as a caddy, sure. Like a fame caddy. Yeah.
Fame caddy. So
yeah, when I get so famous, I'm going to need someone to carry around all my extra fame.
I'm going to have to tell you what to do and do most of the mental legwork. Yeah, I could do that.
I mean, yeah, you hand me the big sticks and I'll knock it out the park, however this game works. I don't know what game we're playing. Play the fame game.
Oh, God, as long as it's not the game of 10 spaces. I am down. But,
And just a word to the wise. This is someone who's kind of been around a little bit. Watch out for the Dragon Mythos Copyright Association, DMCA for short. You just gotta be careful.
Yeah.
How dare you?
You right. Wait, no.
On occasion.
Okay. Yeah. She'll step up a little bit into your space, Looking up and down. You're not going to be angry if I write a better poem than you do.
I don't think there's a reason to be angry. Who knows if it'll happen?
That sounds like you almost tried to burn me and challenge me at the same time. We can work on that. We'll have a whole long journey for you to work on your comebacks.
By all means.
I'll tell you what. I will teach you how to, do better at your whole, witty retorts thing, and maybe, a few notes on how to write down really catchy theme songs and all that. Like nothing rhymes with orange. Lesson 1. And when we're done, when this is all over, right? Why don't you and I have an epic rhyme off, like an epic rhyme battle for all of history at the Theater of the Gods in Mitros. Of course, winner determined by who gets the most applause, and I'll be sure to clap for you so you get something.
Mm-hmm. I would love nothing more.
Well, it's a date then.
It's a date. So, who knows if you can handle all this?
There's far too much sexual tension here for me. I think I need to leave.
It's fine. I've had boiled chicken before.
Wow. Damn.
Is that racist?
I don't
think
know.
that's racist.
It might be. Oh no.
I think at that point, like after the whole fame thing, I think Aliana's just starting to slowly stride out of the Oracle's abode cave.
Yes.
Just kind of like somewhat waiting for everyone, so just slow steps.
I'll tell you what. Kira will like obviously kind of walking and talking. You're beginning to get out of the cave and onto the road. The day is kind of, I'd say about high noon-ish. The sun coming down through some clouds, wonderful mountain air breezing about you. The warmth of the cave still definitely pouring out. There's one tiny problem though, and I'm not talking about Calliope's skills. The tricky thing about fame is if you're not careful, one person might outshine all the others. Then all the stories about them and not like the group as a whole. I mean, it'll be how strong and valiant they are, heroic charisma and charismatic heroics and all that. And all the rest of you will just be like yesterday's news. And that kind of sucks, just letting only one person. No, it's not. I'm going to say that as your personal retort rep or your PR rep.
I appreciate all you're trying to do. I really do. But I don't want fame and fortune that you're speaking of. I just want to get this done and move forward.
Well, why don't I try this? I'm going to try this first. If you want to succeed, you will need friends in a lot of different places. You can't be everywhere at once spreading your good news, and I can only write so many catchy jingles about you. So, what I'm suggesting is that you all, right now, in the spirit of solidarity, collectively swear an oath of fellowship of sorts. Like one of you wins fame, does something that you all get associated with the group. That way, you don't have to hear how great Ponos is over here all the time. It's how great the Oracle's Chosen, or whatever name you want to be called by, is, and how great their one member is, Ponos, a representative of the Oracle's Chosen. And, maybe the magic oath will even protect you against some of the dangers that lie ahead. Oaths are really important if you haven't picked up on that already.
There is wisdom in being part of something larger than an individual.
Yeah, like 6 individuals.
I'm not against it.
Okay, we have 1 not against. That's almost a 4.
Yeah, of course I'd take that oath. I consider you guys all friends at this point.
Well, you don't have to be all chummy, but, it would help. It's nice to know the person you're fighting side by side with doesn't think your pants smell. If you're wearing pants. Ooh.
Noted. Well, if it'll get us where we need to go, then sure.
Oh, we'll get you where to go in some ways, of course, but in others, it's just nice. But any against naysayers? All right, love to hear it. Silent majority. Okay. All right, it's really simple. Just repeat after me, and she'll hold up a hand. I am your name.
I am your name.
No,
I am
okay.
Thrynos.
I'm like, yeah, be smart like him.
Oh, sorry. I am Thornos.
No.
Oh, my name. Sorry. I am Leo.
Bam. Bam. High five.
She'll wait for everyone else to join.
All right, let's just do it in overly order. I am Calliope.
I am Thrynos.
There's a distinct pause. You are not saying words that your friends need you to say.
Eliana.
Please.
Fine. I'm Eliana Legide.
Big Daddy Pete.
And you're just
Is it
gonna hear
fair?
just the exasperated sigh.
Does that count?
Do you have the intent behind it? I think he does. Yes. I say it counts. Tefera?
Defera, I said it. But
Oh, you're good. Yes.
that's okay.
And I swear upon my life and my honor. Say it as a group. We don't have to go one by one again.
And I swear upon my life
Upon
and
my
honor.
life and my honor.
That I will uphold the oath of fellowship
That I will uphold,
That I will
the
hold
oath.
the
the
oath of fellowship.
blah, 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 blah.
with the warriors who stand at my side.
With
With
the
the
warriors who stand
at
at my side. Oh no.
All right, yeah. Cheers. This is warrior for one of your many oaths.
So many oaths.
Sorry, I was writing it down.
Drink! Prost! Wonderful. And with that clang, she kind of put her hands on her hips again. All right. That wasn't so hard, was it? Just a few measly words, a few, deep intentions spoken out into the void. Who knows? Maybe even some people were listening. But this place is entirely too hot, and I long to see if that wine merchant was telling the truth about that festival this year. Let's get up to Estoria, right?
Have you ever been?
Yeah, once or twice. Gotta go. Oh, the plays they put on, the amphitheater. Ooh.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yeah, I don't
Although
typically.
Can't say I've caught them often.
Oh, okay. Hopefully, they do Pythor and the Five Sisters again.
I've been there maybe twice in my lifetime,
Oh gosh.
but it's been decades. I haven't.
last time I was there, the guy they got to do Pythor was like spot on, but he had this thing with his face that every time he tried to go like, oh, he's like, it's just like, it looked like his jaw was gonna fall off. It was amazing. It really hammered on the, I'm surprised he wasn't killed. But it's okay. Pythor can take a joke usually. At least in my experience.
Well, I think I've only caught the off Astoria tour.
Yeah. Well, it's the trouble. You were in Neresia, right? Yeah, you're not gonna get a lot of public performances out that way.
It is much quieter.
Yeah, well, they like to act that way, don't they? But it's showing some Western privileges in that regard. Why don't we get on the way and walk and talk?
I think that would be wise.
All right. And with that, you begin making your way from the Temple of the Oracle to Estoria. Your path charted out, but certainly not easy. By Kira's estimates, it'll take about 3 days to navigate your way out of this mountain pass safely, hook around the northern vineyards, and come in through the northern gate. Southern gate, of course. Who needs it? Not there's anything wrong with it. It's just there's gonna be more traffic there probably at the festival. We go through the north, there'll be much less people probably. Don't want to be waiting, literal chosen of the Oracle shouldn't be seen like waiting in line. You can get mobbed. Be terrible. And also, hi, I'm your GM and no longer Kira for a moment. I want to introduce everyone, including chat, to the fame table system. As you guys adventure on your journey, you will accumulate fame. That fame will express itself in minute and major ways. So currently, right now, you're at fame level 1, which in regards to its perks and effects, your name is known in the taverns local to the region where you performed your first great deed. As you can probably tell, you aren't going to be able to buy a drink in the Heartlands anytime soon, or at the very least in the Sour Vintage. Perks of which, or rather the downside initially, is if you're not moving stealthily in crowded areas, there's always a chance someone will recognize you and begin a small little rush of admirers. But we'll see where it goes, because there's a lot of fame to accumulate, and gosh, you're gonna be able to leave as big or a small mark on the world as you want. But you've all sworn the Oath of Fellowship, and so you're all going to accumulate this together, which makes all of our jobs collectively a lot easier. No more counting who has the last kill and who did the best in the fight and arguing behind the scenes, because that's not the spirit of the game. But your first half day of travel begins much as a lot of it is backtracking through your initial way into the Temple of the Oracle. It is, a little deep within the mountain pass here, and you really only have a switchback trail in and out to rely upon. And it does just about hit nightfall as you're able to hit what appears to be a more common route through the mountain pass. Kira will motion towards, she's kind of up the front, will kind of like wave for the group. We should probably think about making camp. I mean, eventually. I know some of you can probably see in the dark or never have to sleep and have a billion mystical powers that even I don't know about yet, but I also much prefer cooked food over trail rations, and I don't know. I'm a fan of some good campfire stories as well. So what do you say? Want to set up here?
Nice. Are you planning to cook?
Well, I could if you want to, but I was more going to write about your cooking than really. I mean, I could try.
Not much of a cook myself.
I mean, go find some rabbits or goat up in the hills and throw it over the fire. How hard can it be, right?
Well, there's one way to find out.
You know what? That's the spirit. That is.
What are you finding out about goats exactly?
I'll have you know. We're gonna find out how tasty they are.
That's racist.
It is. There is a distinct difference between satyrs and goats. I'll have you know. Just as there's a distinct difference between chickens and sirens. I was merely referring to someone's lack of.
Goats are a little quieter.
I feel like probably shouldn't be the one in position explaining that to us. Let's just move on, shall we?
Yeah, that feels about right.
Much better.
I'll mark out the fire and get that going. That could work for everyone.
I think I will head to the stream we passed and see if I can catch a few fish if anyone wants to join me.
And I will hunt some rabbits. How hard can that be?
We're certainly going to find out. Anyone else want to take on some camping? Because it sounds like there's some fishing, some hunting to do. And
Fish is definitely more my speed. I'll join.
Thank you.
Pharaoh will assist with rabbit hunting.
So, leaves the three of us to figure out how to light a fire.
It's not much of a problem.
I don't know. Can't you start the fire? I mean, I would love to see all of them struggle with this for a little while, but just in case.
It's these two kinds of rocks, right?
No, it's not.
Well, yeah, the fire's not starting. But listen, it's got a good beat.
As Thranos walks toward the stream, he will cast Bonfire over his shoulder to get it started.
Look, they did it.
Oh my goodness, I'm the greatest bard in the world.
All right. And Eliana will lean her shield and spear and start creating a what do you want to call it?
Like a
essentially a
lean-to,
small
or...
reservoir area.
Ooh.
So she can create water.
There is a small river you could also draw from, but definitely it'll be easier up here.
Listen, I'm not making people sick. And maybe people want a bath with clean water.
That's fair. You all have been fighting and stomping around in a very hot spring, so I would not blame if anyone had any deep, stinky pits. But yeah, a little. Oh gosh, I hope no one took my stinky pants comment too seriously. I don't think anybody has any wearing pants.
And with that, she's gonna walk away and just kind of start making that reservoir, and then also starts digging almost like an ovaline pit. A little about 5.5 feet long.
What is, may I ask what the purpose of this pit is?
So, essentially, she's going to, she can't get to the point, she doesn't have the other stuff for it, but it's the equivalent of making one of her sensory deprivation baths.
Oh, fun.
Trying to see if maybe she can do it on the road.
Using your shield, I would assume, to dig out probably could get you a good, decent start of it.
At least the topsoil, because it's going to be the hardest part.
Okay. But as you walk away, Kira will be like, you can't run away from our love, Eliana.
She will just look, helmet still on, just kind of staring daggers.
Oh,
Going
you
back.
pierced me with your stare. Oh. And she'll like fake faint next to the fire, and she'll then kind of transition it into hands behind the head, relaxing. Occasionally poking at the flames to make sure they're still going. But why don't we check in with fishing first? If you guys want to make me survival checks to see how you're doing initially, that'd be fine. But also,
Sure.
you can both find a small river that's running its way through the mountain. See, the water is not particularly rapid or slow, but wow.
They
What?
both
What?
rolled crits. Holy shit.
We're sirens. Okay, we're from the ocean.
This is what we do.
This is what we do.
There is it.
We don't even break stride. It doesn't bother our conversation. We just spend this scene chit-chatting, catching fish like every time we every time we reach in the water.
The sirens in a lot of their flavor text do have a long history of fishing and living on cliffs and being able to just but please, the scene is yours.
So tell me, Calliope, what do you think of our new companions so far?
There are a lot. No? There's a lot to behold. A lot to listen to. A lot to take in.
I found that also. There has been a lot to take in. A lot to consider.
Especially first the offering to Pythor, and then another question. What's on your mind about him?
Well, we've traveled together a long time. I suppose it only makes sense that we share. You may have noticed I'm not particularly strong. For those that can't see Thranos' character sheet, he has a 7 in strength. I've been told since I was a boy, very young, just a fledgling really, that I am a son of Pythor. That I am of his seed, that I am one of the great heroes who will save, who will do, who will accomplish. And yet, I don't have his strength. I don't have that conviction. And so I doubt. I have trouble seeing how it could be true.
Well, not all strength is physical. I mean, you certainly at least impressed me and probably the rest of the group, and your words and how you've handled things. You've certainly been the more even-tempered of the two of us, which I definitely admire. I don't quite have the patience for that.
I found that I haven't had the feelings for anything else for quite some time. But it is strange being told what you will be and who you are, and yet here I am hearing it again. From an oracle. From a vision. From a mission.
It's large expectations for just one person, though we've heard that they're with others. We're not alone. You're not alone.
No. Not alone. But I don't know. Well, let's forget that a moment. Tell me, Calliope, when was the last time you laughed?
Not ironically, I guess. I couldn't tell you.
I laughed the night my mother died. Right before she left. She was always in such a good mood before she flew into the storms. She told me a joke as I laid down to bed. And I laughed.
If it's not too painful, do you remember that joke?
No. Only the love that she left behind. She flew out into that storm dozens of times. She would spit in Sidon's face. She thought it was fun. He finally took her. It's been many years now.
Well, I know it'd be trite to say that I'm sorry about that, but I am.
Well, sorrow is our lot in life, is it not, Calliope?
Large part of it. Yes. I do miss the coast. I hope to get back sometime in our journey. I think we will, but we've been away from it for a while. I do share your mother's sentiment, and it was great to be near the storms, near the ocean, for all of it.
I still wonder why Pithor didn't save her. If he loved her enough that I am truly a child of Pithor. Shouldn't he have, I don't know, done something?
I don't know. I haven't put quite a bit of faith in any of the gods. I mean, like your story, like the story that we both know quite well. Sidon didn't care. Lutheria laughed at our sorrow. I don't know, maybe one day gods will prove they're not all bad, but right now the track record hasn't been too great.
Maybe we'll find a way to make them care.
Maybe that's what this whole fame thing's about.
To be more famous than the gods.
No, just famous enough that they actually cast an eye over here. Anything. Maybe a good spectacle for them, maybe bad, but in any case, casting an eye.
I think we'll get their attention one way or the other.
We'll see.
And you can both look to your, I'm assuming you're doing a form of spearfishing, kind of as you you both stood there and chatted.
I just use create water to lift the fish out of the water and put them on the shore one at a time.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll find the shore dancing with a variety of fish. Nothing so large as like a salmon, but certainly enough, mackerel and minnow-sized fish to feed a party of 7, or who knows? Maybe you've worked up a bit of an appetite, and it'd be a good aperitif to the rabbit that might be being hunted right now. Maybe.
Yeah. Yep. I think we're hiding behind a bush. as I'm explaining stuff. All right, so we have to think like a rabbit and hop. I see him right there. It'll be easy catch. I will for once get this right, I promise. And he's going to try and catch a rabbit. A roll survival.
Mm-hmm.
A 12.
Okay. And a 6. Why don't you tell me why you don't catch what you wanted to and what you catch instead?
I'm pretty sure I'm very loud as I'm explaining to Defera, who will most likely knows more than I might, but she's very kind and letting me teach how to hunt. I think the rabbit hops away just to get out of a snake's way, and I managed to grab the snake instead, and that's fun.
And yeah, it'll again begin partially coiling around you and squirming, the back of it gripping at your wrist, not necessarily constricting, more finding purchase on your hand, and the head will begin hissing and rearing back, just kind of like up at you, its fangs bared.
Defera, for the first time seeing this snake, not attacking, but in like an offensive action, will drop her hooded cape, and the 5 or 6 snakes within her hair will all hiss back. And I would assume that would at least get it to shut up and or not attack him.
It will reel back given the loss of numbers. Though it still bears its fangs in a semi-defensive measure, it does not seem to be aggressing in Leo's hand. Assuming that as long as this thing is holding me, the 5 or 6 snakes can't get to me.
Yeah. Correct. So
But
she will turn to Leo and say, "Why don't you just set that down?"
Yeah, and he slowly, sets that down. It's like, well, that's how we catch a snake, but next time I'll show you how to catch a rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, though, Leo, I have a question.
Yeah, as he surveys the area for the rabbit.
So we traveled a lot, and you talked about the Oracle often.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she?
Very. Just a real peach. My concern is that you have 0 recollection of most of your time there. Does that concern you ever?
No, I tend to be forgetful as it is anyways. So, she just reminds me of the important things, like her love and how much she loves me and how much she cares about me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
It isn't concerning that you have no recollection of a very long time.
I think, for a second there, that's when he actually starts to think about it and just dread for a split second, and then it just goes back to smiling. It's like, no, not really. I think he finally can I tell you something? Yes. I guess I used to be a Dragonlord, hundreds of years ago, and I am now remembering it. And I think he sighs heavily. It's like, ugh.
Defera, having 0 ability to console or comfort anybody, will just sit there awkwardly and go, yeah, Leo, I just gotta express some concern for her lack of informing you sooner. I feel like maybe she could have done that, right?
No, it's just I forgot. This is my fault,
Oh, no. No.
No?
I don't think so, but let's change the subject. How do you feel about the rest of the party?
The party? I think they're great. They're very unique, I haven't been around a lot of other folk in a long time, and they all bring something to the table that I think make our fellowship grand. How are you feeling? I think he starts to realize, like.
I've just been observing, I suppose. They all seem rather reliable, with the exception of the satyr. He seems a little bit sketchy.
He seems to be reliable in certain things, in his music and stuff. He'll bring the house down 100% of the time, or have them running away. One of those two. But I haven't listened to music in a while, so I don't know what the kids are into.
You make a handful of great points. I could use some of your perspective more often.
No, I'm starting to realize I've been sheltered for a very long time. So I'm very excited that, I finally am out here and seeing the world again. It's a very, very fun time.
Defera is going to just look at Leo as if he has 6 heads and 12 arms, and just wildly confused how he's just so A-okay with everything that's happened. And she's just going to take that in for a minute and go, Leo, I think maybe the rabbit hunting is failing. Should we go check on the fishing?
Yeah, I've lost the rabbit, but I'm pretty sure we have more trail mix we can keep eating. But...
Sure. Yes. Good thinking. And she'll just walk away. There will be not much more past that.
Important point of order. Are you putting your hood back on?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to double check. But yeah, hood donned, you can certainly return back to camp. And speaking of which, Ponos, what are you doing at the moment? Because Kira's just kind of relaxing by the fire. Are you joining her in this moment of relaxation?
He's just sat there, sort of leaning back on a big tree stump, legs up on a rock, just kind of watching folks mill around as they're doing stuff. Watch folks go off to the river, watch folks go out into the shrubs for rabbits, watch folks build the fire, and just kind of nodding and, yep, I've done it again.
Done what again, exactly, if I can ask?
Well, all of this, obviously.
You've done nothing while everyone else takes care of things for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what leaders do.
Well, in a way, sure. It's more like what a ruler does.
Well,
like a boss.
I mean, that's your word, but yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to think of it like that, then that works.
No, I write a lot of stories. I've read a lot more. I guess I just have a different idea of leadership is all. But I do like your leadership on the relaxation front. I think you've really brought some innovative points to the game here, and I am not in a place to disagree with them.
There you go. See, I like to think of myself more as an influencer, someone that as an ideas man, but also as someone that really looks around, takes in their surroundings, the folks that are here, the general mindset and the vibe, and can really compile that into something constructive, you know?
So, what do you do with that information, though?
Well, I mean, that's the most important bit, and I'm glad you asked. If anything, I think that is the real key to leadership, and above all, parallel to that, success, is what you do with the information you have. You see, when you're in a situation like this, you need someone that can really designate a good sort of calendar to use that. And I think not using it is just as important as using it at times. So what I've been doing, I don't know if you've caught on, is I've got this real way with people. You see, people just like me. It's just how things work. I show up and everything works. I like to think of it as everyone else is the useless bricks and stones and rock heads. And I'm the person that pays the people to put it together. So at the end of the day, it's really my creation, is how I see this all working out. And when I look around and I see the rock heads that we've got here, I think, man, we have got to be in for some sort of grant for this, surely.
So, gosh, there's a lot to respond to in that. I mean,
And
psychologically
it all rhymes with
alone.
Ponos.
I will work on that. But I mean, I guess my biggest point in the meantime is you're just working with what the gods gave you. But
It's a blessing and a curse.
is that why Versi said what she said?
You know, sometimes too much information is just as bad as no information at all. And so I think sometimes the information that we have, we need to leave well alone.
No. I'm sorry. I poked a thing that didn't need poking. All I'm trying to say is I've seen a lot of performances. A lot.
Sounds like you have a lot of time on your hands.
I do. I mean, I'm hanging out with you guys right now. I mean, I could really be doing anything else, but also, to be fair, you are probably the most important people in the world at the moment, at least in Thylea. So I think
I've always
doing
been the most important person to me.
That's good. But
Logic.
you could also be very important to other people. Especially maybe if you showed them more of who you really were. And we're more open and honest.
I don't think we need to worry about that.
I don't know. I just talk a whole lot and read a lot of books, and generally a good repository of history and lore and funny comments occasionally. I stick my foot in my mouth like an expert. But these
I mean, you could probably make a fairly healthy living off that alone. I know some guys that will pay a lot of money.
Well, they have a little bit, but I'm just saying, these stoneheads, as you call them, they might be a little bit more than that. And
I mean, with the right coach in place, with someone to put the plan together to really draw the best out of them, sure, they could be more than that. But I got to sit here. I got to use all the gifts I'm given to really think about considering it. But I'll give it an extra hard think for you.
You do that. And in the meantime, I'll just be trying to come up with a verse to properly capture the way the man wearing no clothing still somehow has the most armor on. And I think
maybe your ambitions hold you back. It's only when you sprout horns and hooves that you really think, are shorts a good look on me?
I wouldn't know. As far as I know, I wasn't born a satyr. She'll kind of like side eye you a little bit, but I'd say around this time you can begin to hear around the two groups converging in. So any last line probably be best for now.
Well, this has been exhilarating, but I'm afraid we're going to have to be brought back down to the doldrums of nonsense and whatever else comes out of.
Could have been worse. We could have been like gossiping or something.
What's your opinion on the party? Everyone's here. Don't worry. I'm not interested.
And you guys will start to hear that. But before we jump into your immediate reactions to that, Eliana, you were creating a deprivation chamber for yourself.
Yeah. It didn't take too long. I mean, she's not digging like super duper deep. Since we're in the mountains, there's plenty. So when she gets what she believes fairly deep enough, she'll fill her shield with some water from a crate, destroy water spell, and kind of moisten the earth, take what pebbles she can find, just kind of layer it, so kind of reduce any water taken out. So, all right, see if this works. And she'll fill it. She'll take off her armor and kind of just lay herself in it, putting in like little piece of cloth in her ear, tying one over her eyes, and then just kind of wrapping some clothing around her hands, just removing as much sensory input as she can to herself. After a short minute, it just doesn't seem to work. So she takes out another prepared vial. And I hate this. And she inhales the vapors and falls back into the water, and she'll start seeing the dark vision start to change. And she'll start seeing like little threads kind of start coming together that start making a silhouetted form of each of the party members. And she'll start in a kind of an astral projection way, start interacting and seeing how each bit works. And then a thought just comes over her. It just kind of brings her back to an old place in Estoria. And she's trying to keep it pushed back, knowing what it means after seeing a storefront. Not now. Not after this. And she remembers the scent of the, I want to make sure I have this pronunciation right, amygdalotas? Essentially almond cookies.
Oh, I love those so much.
And she starts feeling dread. And she turns away, just trying to focus back on the people that she's now sworn an oath to. And she's just having a hard time. It seems to just rack at her mind until quickly she springs out of the water, sitting up and just labored breathing, just nearly gasping, and just starts taking all of the cloth off and just kind of trying to relax and remember that she's now grounded, feeling the earth around her and the pebbles beneath her. And she gets up out of her deprivation, destroys the water, and puts her clothing back, or her armor back on, and rejoins the group after a time, after she's known that she's fine.
Could I tell you what you're beginning to see as you kind of try to focus on your new strangers?
Yeah.
It's a brief vision, but you see the thread of fate you've begun to associate with your own life. Singular strands continuing on. Did you know at some point it's been measured, at some point it'll be cut, but you now can see 5 other strands coming from fire and storm, fear and loss and tragedy. Each of them converging and passing through a loom and becoming not a singular thread, but tied in together, tighter than they were before. And just as it passes that choke point, your vision goes. And that's when you wake up and return to the party. And Kira will be like, well, I think they're all good folk, but gosh, some of them could use a bath. Honestly, most of them could use a bath. I could use a bath. Eliana, are you done over there? Could I get the bath next?
Oh, I'll have to refill it, but yeah.
Yeah, whenever you're set. I mean, you look, well, honestly, you look like you saw a ghost, but I'm hoping for more pleasant bubble bath sensations.
Well, it's just basic water. It's nothing much to it.
I mean, I didn't realize it was a bath. I thought it was a latrine. Oof.
Well, thankfully, I'll be using it first. And anyone else who wants to get in it before Ponos forgets that little fact again, I'd encourage you to do so. But, and she'll kind of like turn to Siren and Siren Co. It looks like you guys did a very good job. Is that?
Hey, it's what we know.
Thanks.
Not too bad for a chicken, huh?
Yeah, well, fish aren't nearly as ferocious fighters. But I'll be sure to note down your incredible pescatary abilities. It's a good fancy word. It's always good to throw one of those in, makes your audience think you're very intelligent, even if you don't fully know what it means. But Rabbit Crew, what do we got? Show me the You have
3 berries, but they might be poisonous. And then he drops them. You know what? Maybe let's not. I see plenty of fish for everyone around.
Fish tonight.
Yeah, we don't want to mix the cuisines, as you know.
Gosh, I am glad you all made that oath of friendship now, huh? Otherwise, we have to start chalking up numbers. Be a pain in the butt. Well, I'm gonna go dunk my head in that little bit of water and, wipe off the mimic filth. So why don't you all star on that fish and we'll catch up in a second.
We'll take care of it.
Unless there's anything anyone wants to add on at this point, Kira will quickly scrub herself down in some water and return as you've all begun to cook some fish on, I would assume, sticks and cooking them over.
Oh, no. Thrynos puts together an herby fish dish with wilted greens and mushrooms.
Ooh.
It's actually quite good.
Lovely. That sounds amazing. Well, you're all treated to that. How is that served? Do you have like a kettle, or is this you cook the fish on sticks and then spice it afterward?
It's a pan dish.
Oh, perfect. I believe, yeah, you guys should have pans. So yeah, you were able to cook that over the open fire, and it sizzles, and the entire your small little part of the mountain trail here seems to burst with that wonderful herb infused smell, and slowly you begin to realize you haven't really had this good of a meal in a long time. Your last stay at the Sour Vintage and all of the spiced nuts you've had not quite comparing to a home-cooked meal, even if it is on the trail. You're all able to get yourselves well fed. The stars begin to shine in the sky, and Kira will kind of just... So, everyone know about their prophecies? Anyone want to share any thoughts? Good campfire stories, ghost stories? No?
Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of story we'd like to hear. I think the best story for us is, well, to hear a little bit more of one another. If we're going to swear this oath of binding, if we're going to travel together, I think it would be good to hear a bit from each of us. Or at least some of us. Maybe one of us.
Which one are you talking about? Because, I mean...
Well, I mean, we have Leo, who ducks away with oracles and her private chambers. We have Ponos, who comes from somewhere very loudly. We have Eliana, who I'm not sure would know a smile if it slapped her across the face. And then we have Defira. I have no idea what to make of you. And yet we're together.
You also have you two.
Well, I know our stories.
Well, not all of us do. I mean, you get all hush-hush quiet whenever the God of Strength's around, and gosh, you're just all angry all the time, aren't you?
Well, some people have some rough relationships with their fathers.
I was mostly talking about Calliope with the angry problem, but I can understand being angry at your dad, too.
I'll fully accept that problem.
Well, why don't you
But-
tell them about it, Calliope?
About what in particular? What's the burning question on the collective's mind?
Who do you have a crush on? No. Nothing so mundane. I like stories. I like private moments around the fire like this. Tell me the truth. Tell us all the truth. Not just for me. The world. You're all bonded now. Fates intertwined. Oathsworn and all that, you know?
He said it. He said the line. Let's go. It's done. Done. Campaign's done.
Wrong credit. Anyway.
I think truths from each of us could be good. Just
Sure.
one, perhaps.
Yeah, why not? Right? It's okay with everyone? No one too terrified just yet? There'll be much worse to come, I hear.
Take her helmet off and just set her in her lap. Fine. It's fine with me.
Leo stutters. Yeah, it's fine with me.
So a truth. I guess I can start. The last time I remember laughing was before my mother left our nest. told me a joke on her way out into the storm and never came back. Sidon will suffer for what he's done.
Well, hells, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, who wants to go next? Because I'm still thinking of a really good one.
Well, sure, the question towards me started all of this. Currently, not necessarily in this for the fame itself. It'll get me where I need to go, sure. But the top thing on my mind right now is getting revenge. Someone has deeply hurt me and anyone I've ever loved, and I'm in it for that.
Good theme.
Anger problems.
Anger problems, revenge. Call me one who finds it hard to see the line sometimes, but I believe you. From what I've seen, you can hold your sword.
Oh, I think at this point, Leo can't keep it in anymore, and he kind of blurts out, "And I'm a Dragonlord, or maybe I used to be. I'm pretty sure I'm over 500 years old."
Well, you look great.
I know, don't I?
Skin just really not showing the age. I mean, how do you do it?
V has this good skincare thing she likes to do, and she sometimes puts it on me. It's very fun. It's a little date night thing. But yeah.
You'll see Eliana become super engaged on that. Just the fact that you're a human, you're plausibly 500 years old.
And then, I think he tells a little bit about growing up in like a cliffside castle with a bunch of dragons. And then he kind of trails off as he tries to remember stuff, and then he'll start back up like in a different part of his story. And then, V took me in, and I've been just with her ever since, it's been great being out here. And
I mean, you've been outside before, obviously.
Yeah, of course. But it's usually just me and Versailles just hanging out, or every once in a while she'd bring a friend, but I'd never get to talk to her, the friends. I'd just, sit aside. But it'd give me a bunch of me time. But no, it's been fun, and like hang out with you guys, it's been great.
What do you mean a Dragonlord like we saw?
I think Leo's face kind of darkens, and it's like, I don't think all of them were like that. Versailles said I wasn't like that. Maybe.
You're talking about him, I assume, the same one you mentioned in the caves.
Estor.
Yeah. Look, you're not like him.
I hope
none of you are. Believe me, I've read a lot about him, and none of you are like him. But that is entirely too much out of you, Mr. Chatterbox. It's like the box of curses with you. It's one little peek inside and all the truth starts spilling out. I'll go next. I will only consent to marry anyone who can beat me in a foot race. I refuse to elaborate.
Fine.
I refuse to elaborate. Don't bother asking questions or fawning your attentions on me. I know I may give you many ideas that we can spend long hours together, reading poems and drinking wine in the countryside somewhere, but alas, it can never happen.
Literally nobody asked.
Oh, but you did with your eyes, my love. But no, we are fated to be apart forever. Oh, my heart burns for you, Eliana.
You see, if we just let her keep talking, her mouth will beat herself in the foot race, and then we'll just hear it.
Oh, but I love myself too much. My mouth entirely too little. And plus, that would mean you'd get to win our little poetry slam dunk-a-roo or whatever. We can't have that. But that's me. Leaves 2, 3 more, actually.
Farah will put a hand to her head and release it and glance to Leo, and for as much as Leo doesn't remember, I remember a life that is very wonderful. But unfortunately, nobody else seems to remember it except for me. And that's all she'll say. And probably get up and head towards the water.
And I think Leo nods at her and yeah, she said a lot.
That's a lot for her.
Well. Looking towards the last traveling pair. For some reason, it doesn't strike me that you two talked a lot on your journey if you're this tight-lipped now.
I'll give you a truth. A real truth, real proper one. Right, real good ones.
You promise?
Yeah, like 100% proper truth. Why am I the only normal person that's here despite all of this? What is wrong with everyone else? Why are you all so broken and so unable to just interact like normal human beings?
Most of us aren't.
It's so dark and miserable all the time. We're meant to be heroes or on the way to being it. We're meant to be influencing people and telling the world that there's stuff to look forward to and that people can come out against the tyranny and the big smelly boars and the unflattering rugs and whatever other feats we have to come up against. And then when they meet us, it's going to be all sob stories and moping. I can't have this. It's a hassle. I can't keep being chipper all the time. I know I'm meant to be the overwhelming force of good amongst all this, but we're going to drown in our own tears if you keep this up, and I'm not the best swimmer. Hooves are not the ideal flotation device.
He's right.
The reason that me and old Cheery Chops over there don't bang on all the time is because sometimes you don't need to, right? You don't need to just keep... It's tedious. You don't need to wear clothes all the time. It hides who you are.
I think you had a really strong message, and then it took a bit of a dive at the end, but I was there for most of it.
Sometimes moping about the place isn't how you get stuff done. Sometimes it is, and that's fine, but that's not the time to do it where all the eyes are on you. and then he'll kind of shuffle to the other side of his stump, away from everyone else, like very just squeak around his little stump that he's sat against, and will click, and the phantasmal violin that he now has, the violin body but with the phantasmal strings that were snipped, and just begin to screech out a tune that, horrific at first, and just the draw of unrosined horse strings on these ghost-like chords, that's just screeching and braying. But after a few seconds, 3 or 4 seconds, does become to somehow become in a way musical and start to carry actual notes, an actual tune. And in the little clearing that we've made in the fire, the flames begin to rise up above the cooking and twist and turn and form into the shape of a man in his mid to late 20s. He's strong. He's the build of a fighter. He's got a shield and a spear in his hands, and the flames in this shape begin to move and fight like that of a warrior in a phalanx. It's these repeated, drilled, effective moves. The flame vision is completely naked, and the sparks that are kind of flaring up from the wood seem to almost burst over it, as if there was shrapnel and the kind of air of battle around it. And then as he abruptly just draws the bow across the strings, the music just descends back to the chaotic screech, and the fire strinks back into the kind of crackling charcoals that are there from the wood. And he kind of clicks again and goes, sometimes it's not all about moping, all right?
And I think now would be a fantastic time, as you're all left with that big nugget to chew on, for us to take a quick break as the evening will pass, or continue as you all like. We'll decide during our downtime here. But everyone else, be sure to get up, stretch your legs, swear any outstanding oaths you have not already sworn yet, and get ready for us to come back very soon. HP, please send us to break. So I says welcome back, everybody, to Oathsworn, Odyssey the Dragonlords campaign here at TPK Roleplay. Our heroes have spent the night basically bonding a little bit in some ways, and showing the walls where they stand in others. But if there's nothing else anyone wants to add to Ponos's remark, I think completely different name, but it all rhymes.
It all rhymes.
Rhymes with everything. That's the problem. But I would say a brief conversation about watch order that I will not interrogate anyone over for tonight. I've already been through enough. Will allow you the night to pass. And you wake the next morning, the sun cresting, not quite visible yet, but the blue of the sky letting you know over the mountains that it's time to wake up and begin your second day of travel. And let me put on some adventure music. There we go.
So, you continue your way through the mountain ridge here. On your path to Estoria, the way forward is not simple. It has obviously been well traveled, but that does not make it easily traversable. Rocks and tree roots will pop up and occasionally not block your way, but inconvenience any ambient thoughts you might have lost yourself into. The strain of the climb constantly clinging to your thighs and feet. And you find that while this part of the road is relatively safe, so it seems the moment, it is certainly not easy on all of you. And could I have someone roll me a D100? 58, you say?
I'm scared.
You should be.
Oh no.
Ahead, you can hear a quiet, the groan of metal and wheels slowly spinning. That kind of eek as something burdened down by weight moves itself across this rocky and slightly treacherous terrain. And you round just this little bit of hill that had blocked your sight and vision, and you see a very familiar ass and a very familiar man. It's not what you think. Pavlos and his donkey Apollo hauling a small wagon of wines that you would recognize from your previous stay at a very particular winery. And he'll kind of be, come on now, Apollo, we're nearly there. It's just a few more miles or so. And he looks hesitantly at a map, and the donkey will nudge him with his head, as if to say, you mentioned that 5 miles back. And he'll look back as if to start a conversation and catch you out of the corner and say, oh, friends, how are you? It's very good to see you all again.
Hey, do you need any help?
I don't think I am in need of much help, but Apollo certainly is. And he'll get another headbutt from that. What? I'm telling him, you're tired. Maybe they could carry you. You look strapping and strong enough. But yes, this trail is not as easy as I was hoping it would be. Much quieter, though. No cyclopses. Cyclopi? What is the plural of cyclops?
There is none. It is one cyclops, many cyclops.
Is that to say one cyclops is too many?
Perhaps.
Well, if they're attacking caravans like I heard, it certainly would be. But that is certainly not, you haven't come all this way to help me. Let me move my ass out of the road. You may pass.
Theranos will walk up and think a little bit of what Pono said last night and kind of force a half smile. How has the road been?
Quiet and hilly and rocky, and I suspect you know many of the details. But it's good for the lungs, you know? Climb a few mountains.
So, what would your plan have been if we had bought the donkey?
Well, this is an excellent point. I would have carried less wine, I imagine. I don't think I would have to sell as much to pay for the feed. And once I got to Estoria, I could spend all my profits on purchasing a new donkey. And then I think I would have headed from Estoria to Mitros. I think the roads would have been relatively safe enough if I said to the... Sorry, you don't want to tear my entire travel plans. Suffice to say, I would have made do with what I had. As we must.
no interesting story ever started with less wine.
That is a fantastic selling point, and I'll be stealing it. So, you're also on your way to Estoria then? You're going to the festival?
Of course.
Ah, excellent. Heading to the north gate then, very smart. Lots of folk will be heading to the south. It is a very popular time of year to head there.
We heard that, everyone would come up from the south instead of the north. Why is that, by the way?
Well, honestly, raving bands of centaurs and, the armies of Sidal and Lutheria constantly haranguing the city, making the northern farmlands a very dangerous place to live. But, that's probably just hearsay and all those other words that I could use in this moment to tell you that I'm terribly afraid they're true, but also stingy enough to hope they are false.
So you are risking your very life not to wait in line.
To make a good profit as well. It's what I'm good at.
Why don't we travel with you then?
I could think of worse things that have happened to me. Come, perhaps you can spur along my ass. You heard of Apollo?
I will handle your ass, no problem.
And
I will take the reins from his hand and slowly lead the donkey forward.
Make me an animal handling check.
That's not going to go well.
You got it. You also have, I think, a reroll.
You have a
I've got a
reroll.
You have a lot
I've got a
going on.
+2. Look, I'd be
Yeah.
pouring a lot of character emotion into controlling a donkey if I burn them on this, so...
Mhm. That's fair. But
or I could just
give it
roll a
shot.
16, so...
There you go.
And yeah, Apollo will look at you and for a moment, I mean, what is your process here, rather?
Absent-mindedly take the reins from the merchant and Pavlos, and just walk as though I know what I'm doing. There is no plan.
You sense that part of it is the kind of ease with which you take the reins and begin walking forward that Apollo follows you. And you get another sense in your mind, it strikes you that this heavily opinionated animal definitely might want to make a point that he doesn't think much of his owner's current tactics. But either way, Apollo follows you at a steady pace, keeping good track with you as his hoofs clip through the dirt and stone. And Pavlos will kind of hands on hips. Well, your friend is obviously very gifted with asses. Certainly hope he doesn't think too badly of me for wanting to sell him, but... Either way, we should be walking now, not just listening to me drivel on. And Kira's just been in the back, writing this all down, this is golden. The taming of the ass, I'm calling it now. He took it with soft hand and led the ass. But yeah, your pace is slightly slowed with the addition of a donkey and a belabored wine merchant. But you will hear a bit more of the gossip of the city. So I hear that there is a bit of a problem now with the some of the actresses. There's been some kind of shake-up or something with the leading ladies. Something like that. Some drama within the drama, behind the scenes. Oh, couldn't imagine. That's why I'm very glad I got into the marketplace instead of the theater. Much easier. If someone is going to hurt, someone is going to come at you, they are going to do it clandestinely without you ever knowing. The theater, they have to make a whole show about it.
Yes, wouldn't it be something if someone was writing down your every move?
And he gave the bard a most
Or maybe it's not
devious
so bad if
glance
they're all good moves.
as his friend spoke sense, leading the ass.
You see what I mean? Sometimes the dullards need to be led by someone that believes in what they're doing. So a little bit of confidence goes a long way.
You're not wrong, Ponos.
I
In
never
fact,
am.
I was about to say something almost that complimentary, but now
That's right,
I'm
you
not
can
going
save
to.
it for when my full plan goes into action. You wait till we get a real audience in front of us.
That shouldn't be too far in the future, actually.
Exactly.
Oh, will you perform then?
No, that's the beauty. I've got all of you.
I can say with utmost sincerity that Ponos will not disappoint.
It's interesting. I don't doubt it, but it's a very ambiguous way to put it. There's a lot of mystery. I like it. It's a good marketing pitch for him. But you're heading to Estoria for just the festival, or do you have other business there?
We have things to do. I believe the Dragon Shrine requires our attention.
That old place? Didn't even know it was still standing. I mean, to be fair.
We've heard that Aesop tells some wonderful tales.
Yeah, well, is that his name? I wouldn't really know much. I should be more pious, but Balmitria, it's an old story, you know? The leader of the Dragonlords dragon. It's a big title.
What do you mean?
Balmitria was the bonded of the leader of the Dragonlords as they fought the Reclamation, and she's one of the ones that disappeared in the final battle, along with the rest of them. Rode off to Porexis and never returned, but only the oh gosh, what was his name? The mage, Daemon. There you go. He's the only one who came back with the oath of peace in hand, or something like that. Was it Daemon, or was it Taemon, or Valen?
Mousy fellow. Big ideas.
I haven't heard that detail before. By the way, I'm sure you could ask around. Check out a few of the plays. They might be able to confirm or deny your mousy details. Or maybe you met someone who was named for him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame him. I mean, as far as I can tell, he was pretty important to the mythology of the place.
I bet he did an awful lot.
So you're just going there to what? Talk to Aesop, the priester?
Well,
sorry, I'm being very nosy. You don't have to tell me. I can guess. I can create my own story, but please do tell me.
sometimes the mystery of it is exciting, isn't it?
Yes, but I hate surprises.
But tell us about this festival. What's it for?
Oh, well, it's the general end of season thing, there is there's a little bit of the priest of Estoria coming along to turn it into a bit more of a crazy thing that it has to be, but it does celebrate when Pythor helped liberate the city from the crazy Archelander king that was ruling it at the time. So, it's good. It's been going on for many few years, but it's a fantastic money-making opportunity as well.
Can't remember the.
And the main celebrations of wine and acting.
Wine, acting. The end of the third day, it's big bacchanal, drinking, eating, and carousing. I mean, if you're sober at the end of the third day, you haven't been properly celebrating.
Can we go just for a little bit? I haven't been to a festival in a long time.
Leo, that is literally where we're going right now.
Great.
It will be hard to be in the city on the third day and not have a drink in your hand. It basically consumes the whole city. Some might say they're giving the Temple of Estoria too much sway, but I think everyone has a good time.
Well, I suppose we'll have to find out.
Well, you better. It would be a shame if you went to Astoria and did not enjoy all it has to offer, is all I must say. You know? He knows.
Yeah, I'm so ready.
Oh, I can tell.
He pauses, looks at Thylea. Your shield. You're from Estoria, yeah?
I muted myself by 2 times. Correct.
So you're heading home then? Your adventure's not done yet, right? You've just started.
Correct.
I get the sense I'm not going to be able to pull much interesting detail out of you, will I? There's a fabulous rumor market at the Dragon's Tooth. I could cut you a very good deal if you would tell me a few interesting tidbits about the heroes of the Heartlands.
What, you mean how they slew a boar through their guile and, well, the military expertise of one goat-halved, rock-dwelling warrior?
That could certainly be one option of the story that I put forward, or, I could... But I think you even sell that short. You slew a terrible creature of the Titans, sent down to punish the races that lived in the Heartlands, and saved a lot of people a lot of money. I'm going to be talking to a lot of people who owe a lot of their supply to a lot of the Heartlands. I'm just saying, word could spread to Mitros, and if someone were to ask certain specific questions, like I said, I could cut you in. There's a lot of wagging mouths for coin at the Dragon's Tooth.
So, the details of slaying a hag beneath the Temple of the Oracle.
Did you? My goodness. That I could certainly do. And
the spicy intertwining of one of that said group with the Oracle herself.
From the back you hear, oh please, I've already published like a lot. Sorry, what? Sorry, I was just unrelated love poems that are certainly not circulating with pseudonyms. Don't mind me. Sorry, I'm in the back. I'm invisible. I'm your ghost poetess. Ooh.
You know, everyone, I think this is going to be a very good time.
And I would say
it's you are able to continue the rest of your day relatively unaggered. I mean, there's a few very aggressive goats who refuse to budge, and will take some definitely a few prods and pushes to get on their way, or some convincing in whatever manner you see fit. But you can once again find yourselves a small, a relatively small clearing where it looks like travelers have before set fires and allowed a small kind of rock temple to the five gods by your best approximations, was what the pile of 5 stones is meant to represent. One on the left being a little bit higher than the others. You can make me a religion check if you want to know the significance of that, but
Sure.
yeah, once again, Carol. So time to rest for the night.
I think that'd be wise.
Agreed.
Oof.
We have
No.
probably driven this ass as long as we can, and should let it rest for a bit.
And my ass is tired from that last hill. So why don't we rest both of those? For our religion crew, both throwing 7s. By your best guesses, there's one god who is particularly liked by the people who came here. For what reason, you can't really ascertain at this moment. But again, falling into a similar rhythm, the fire will be started, and luckily, Pavlos has some food aplenty for everyone, and will happily provide meals for the evening. And a small carafe of wine for the group, of course. I am nothing if not a thankful traveling companion. And you have certainly helped with a few potential dealings that I, of course, will cut you in on in the future. But for the moment, he'll hold it up to our brief but fruitful partnership. And we'll...
Hear.
And the wine is, again, very nice, clearly from the Heartlands vintage, aged quite nicely with a little bit of spice at the back you detect, but overall, it just reminds you of a rustic rustic plains and villas that you've just so recently been to. Is there anything anyone wants to do before setting up watch for the evening?
Not before watch, but something after.
After as in during watch?
Yep.
Cool. What is the watch order, may I ask?
I'll take the first one.
I'll sit with you.
I suppose I'll take the second.
Yeah, and I'll do that one too.
Okay. First watch, why don't you make me a D100 roll?
Oh boy. Okay. What?
It's a fair
I rolled a 1.
The two of you sit as the sun is, gone behind the mountain ridge on the opposite side now. And the fire is at its highest with the wood you provided for the night. The others are just beginning to drift off to sleep, so you likely keep your voices low, but I don't know. But for the moment, it's just you, the soft rush of the mountains, an occasional bird call, and the soft pedal of water deeper down in the meeting of these two mountains. Canyon. There it is.
Oh, cool. I mean, Calliope will probably spend just quite a bit of the watch, just kind of looking at the fire and kind of staring out to the stars again, kind of reflecting on how different they looked in the vision. But eventually turn to Farah and just ask. So I'm actually pretty curious about something. How did you and Wonder Boy over there end up traveling together?
Yeah, some days that's just as much of a shock to me as it probably seems to everybody else. I was traveling and I happened upon him, a little lost and confused, and he never really went away after that. We also happened to be going the same direction, so he talked a lot.
Fair enough. I've definitely noticed that. Does seem confused a bit. What do you think about him being secluded like that? That definitely kind of struck me as odd.
Yeah, I asked him about that. It's concerning, right? That somebody would
Yes.
keep him so isolated for so long. Especially someone who is a possible Dragonlord, or is, or was, or
Something
is.
But I don't know, just a strange power dynamic there that didn't know until we had that conversation last night.
Yeah. I will say he is, the one that I've been traveling the most, so I'm comfortable kind of asking him questions. I haven't been quite as comfortable with the rest of the group. What about you and your companion? You guys seem to get along very well. Are you from the same areas, or?
I mean, yeah, from about the same area. We didn't know each other before traveling, but we were going in the same direction, much like you two were. Call it fate or whatever. That's probably something that Kira would probably say. Yeah, it was, I don't know, just shocking. He was the first siren I've seen in a while.
Interesting. And she'll just kind of get very quiet. So I think that it might just be you and Leo at this point who have seen my hair, and she'll kind of chuckle a little, under her breath. It's not that I'm trying to keep secrets. I just prefer to not discuss it. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense to me. And it's kind of eyes, her wings, and it's, the whole appearances thing can be a lot. I haven't even tried really stretching my voice since being out here. All about perceptions.
Right. I am waiting for the day for Leo to mention it to everybody. But I'll hope that it doesn't happen until I'm ready.
He speaks a lot, but I think he'll be true about that. He's equally as loyal as he is talkative.
Absolutely.
And if there's nothing else to say, I say your watch passes without incident. And you're free to wake up the next group, which would of course be Thranos and Leo. Perfect. So you guys can fail the reverse Bechtel test. I feel like it would be safe to say that Calliope would wake up Thranos and Defera would wake up Leo respectfully. Right, we're not at like whoever can wake up whoever yet, but
All right.
You want to roll the D100?
I would love if you guys would roll a D100 right now.
Yeah, go
Roll
ahead.
that D100. Oh,
Hey
okay.
DM, can I ask how many days in game it has been?
Since what? Since leaving
we
the
met
Oracle
at
Scape?
since we met
Oh.
at the tavern.
Since you met at the tavern, let's see. One night. One night. Define met at the tavern, because are you including the night you got in and slept at the tavern before heading out to the pig as one?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 8 days.
Okay. That's what I was gonna say 8, but I wasn't. I just wanted to make sure I was not incorrect.
Yes, I have not been keeping track yet of the days as they go by. But, emphasize again, yet. About 8 days have passed. But a 3. Wow, you guys like those low rolls. Are we playing Call of Cthulhu? Are we not? Only I know. Maybe the encounter's already happening. But the two of you, again, fire has diminished somewhat. You do have reserves in case you feel it will grow too low, but you feel fairly confident between all of you, and Kira especially seems to be confident around fires and like throwing it on as much as possible, that with a light pyromaniac in the group, and diet pyromania, you won't have to tend to it too much. It'll settle itself out, but it has diminished, and the stars have really begun to come out in full now. The moon shining, from what you can tell, just lightly over one of the ridges. A few clouds pass by, occasionally obscuring a view, but for the most part, this valley seems to be relatively clear of any obfuscations to the sky.
I think Leo spends most of his watch with that 3 working out. Like he's paying attention, but not really. Like he's just like some peace and quiet to do some push-ups. Or...
Right? Is it just what? Briefly tell me what your regimen looks like. Is this push-ups, sit-ups, and do you try and like find some rocks to like do some free weights?
Yeah. Just anything to just get his heart pumping, any which way. Just doing a bunch of calisthenics and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, Thranos, you have a tie bow exercise going on around you.
Does that calm you?
No, it keeps me alert. So I'm looking this way, and then I'm looking this way. I'm looking this way, and I'm also working myself.
He's definitely doing a bit of a kata. Sorry. Highly good time.
That is certainly one way to pass the time.
Yes. How do you calm yourself?
Well, Thranos kind of just stares up at the moon, just cresting over the top of a hill in the distance. I have found a way to find beauty even in darkness.
That's great. I can't really see out here in the darkness. So
You can see the stars, though, can't you?
I think that's when he stops and like just stares. Yeah. Then he like kind of looks down, but they're not my stars. And then he gets back to just working out.
What do you mean, not your stars?
stops again and then just looks up. And he points like southeast. There used to be a red one right up there that I always used to look at as a child. But it's not there anymore. I don't know where it went. I miss it.
I have a constellations thing I can look at. You will notice that a lot of the constellations that you're familiar with, have definitely shifted. But of course, destinies have always been the case.
Yeah, then he goes back to just.
I'm not sure what you mean. The story in the stars doesn't change.
Does it not?
Well, look, and I'll point toward a grouping of stars. There's
Roll me a. Why don't you roll me a D27?
a D27.
Yes. Roll /R 1D27.
Okay.
Look, there will be several sessions from now. You'll understand. Okay, you point your hand at the trickster.
Okay. Well, I will skip what I was quickly making up for something else.
I got constellations.
Well, there, for example, it's the trickster, and you can see they're pulling from their hat a serpent. You see how the stars come together.
Oh yeah, I do see it.
You can see our stories in the stars, maybe.
I guess the stories have changed, but they're still similar. Then I think he just fully then just stops and then puts his rock down and just sits on it and just tries to see if he can find other constellations.
You, of course, can identify a few. And why don't you make me a perception check while you're at it?
Okay. Perception. Boom.
20.
Ooh, nice.
You'll note that of the four, of the one red star you can remember, you're suddenly hit by the realization there's four that are usually in the sky, and indeed, near enough to the trickster, you will see. Gosh, there's one right there. It's not yours, but it's similar in a way. I mean, it's kind of stuck there between the ant and the prisoner, but the constellation, it's there. A red star is there. And it's the same you can half remember. And maybe things haven't completely changed.
I think when he realized that, he gets a little happier and then just stares at that star.
And if there's nothing else, the two of you can figure about now is the right time to get to bed and wake your next rest. But before you do that, I'm gonna need you both to make Constitution saves.
That's not the thing I'm good at.
I know, right?
7.
Okay.
Oh no, I got a 1.
Great.
You both rise, and for a moment, you are just overcome with this immense amount of lethargy. And it's not so much that you pass out on the spot, because that could be dangerous, but you both make your way over to the rolls and find yourselves both forgetting to wake
the others. And there is this darkness that seems to overtake you. No, that's not right. Yeah, that'll do ya. You find all of you in your own dreams are suddenly interrupted by a vision of darkness. Complete and utter darkness. Dark, not just as if a lack of light, but as if light never truly existed here. And suddenly, you hear a woman's voice softly coo in your ears.
So, your great quest begins. Off to become heroes, are you? Mortals are so very proud.
Light suddenly beams down as if a spotlight on a lone figure, illuminating a sad, pathetic-looking old man. Even in your mind, no matter how kind you find yourself to be, you can find no positive emotions to force towards this person. You just feel like this is a wretch, and he has been hogtied to a stake.
Look at this one. He's falling to pieces. Joints stuffed, skin slack, teeth gone. The life is practically dripping out of him.
Inky black shadows begin to pierce the darkness now. Pierce the light, rather. He begins flinching and squirming as they fall upon him, gripping at him like hooks and tendrils and oil that seems to burn his skin all at once, panicking as something draws closer, something you can't possibly see.
Yes, his sad mortal life is leaking away. But I wonder what will happen to his soul.
The old man thrashes at his restraint, screaming into his gag as a butcher's knife suddenly sharply descends, and you just as you're about to hear his scream, each of you bolts awake, bathed in sweat, and I'm going to need everyone to make a wisdom save. And I'll tell you right now, you're looking for 20 up.
Oh.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Perfect. All right. Wisdom saves. Leo, you feel this darkness encroaching on your mind and you just push it off, whether through positivity or just sheer, I don't think about people that way. That wasn't me, man. But the rest of you, ooh, Eliana, so close.
I did have a +2 from Sarah.
Would you like to use it?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone who didn't, make me a D100 roll.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Oh my god, we got 69 and a 96.
Reverse
I love
nice.
Not nice.
Not
Okay. Well, let's start from the highest value going down. Calliope, you awaken, and the sheer madness of what you've just seen, the brutality of this man being choked and burned, choked, hooked, and burned, and stabbed like a pig. Your mind simply cannot handle it, and you fall unconscious. You retreat back into the world and just faint out like a light. Brenos.
Yes.
You saw this event and your mind reflects on the weakness of the body attached to it. Of your fears seem magnified, and ways you didn't think possible, and all you can think is consume and grow like the earth. You have this innate need to shovel as much food in your mouth, food being in heavy quotation marks, as possible. As I'll let you know, the first thing you do is scoop up dirt and rock and throw it into your mouth and begin trying to consume it. Working our way down to niceness. Ponos, you awaken from the dream and suddenly find yourself surrounded by hallucinations and visions. You are back in the middle of a battlefield, a shield and spear in your hand. You are here to fight. You are here to win. You must defeat the enemies, and they surround you. You don't feel the need to attack, but you are experiencing heavy hallucinatory visions of like the scene you've described, especially. And then Defera with a 52. This scene conjures within you a deep, dark, primal emotion that has been essential to survival of species since the dawn of time. It is rage, it is anger, and you must express that. The person close, you must strike out and attack. You do not feel safe any longer. The people around you, the things around you cannot be trusted, and the only thing you can trust is yourself and your strength of arms, and you must show it, at the very least, to send to the others a heavy and weighty message. And it's up for the group to decide who you would be sleeping closest to, or who you're closest to at this moment. But you are compelled to attack them for 10 minutes. These are the effects of short-term madness.
Well, who wants 10 rounds of misery, guys?
I think it's gonna be me.
Oh no, that's 100 rounds.
No, 100 rounds. All right. Well, I was trying to make it a little bit like not as insane. So.
It's like, I don't think I'm really a threat. I'm unconscious right now.
You're the perfect person. No,
No, but I can't wake up.
So
I mean, are we rolling initiative to attack? Because I would assume that he would need like an ability to defend himself, right?
I will say we can play this a bit thematically. Everyone else is coming to suddenly from this vision, but you are the only one currently with a rage-induced moment. Thrynos, yes, very busy throwing dirt and becoming one with the gravel. Shoveling dirt into my mouth,
into my gaping maw.
But yes, you're the only one. You're the only one with death on the brain, so you would definitely be acting first in a situation here. So it's up to you to attack.
So, am I still aware that I know this person? Even if I think that they're untrustworthy, I still know them?
You know them. You are angry and scared and don't feel safe. You are a cornered animal, basically. A very primal instincts take over. The small part of your brain that we all like to think gets locked away is just unleashed in full.
I suppose she would probably cast Infestation, the cantrip, first.
Yeah. You if you want to, like, this is like in the way I've described it, it's like strike them so they know they can't come near you. You're making an example of one of them. So who's your target? Feel free to roll.
Leo.
Okay. That's a save on Leo's part, correct?
13 Constitution save.
Okay. Leo, please make me a DC 13 because you are fine. You just wake up and are looking around to see how everyone's doing, and Defera. Defera, remind me what this spell looks like.
It is a bunch of. It is a cloud, but for flavoring, it is a bunch of small serpents, probably at his feet, and it deals out 3 poison damage.
I'd say being in sleep, he also is bit on the sides and thighs, and just a lot of his lower body is instantly covered with poisonous and venomous snakes, rather. Leo, your friend has attacked you.
Yeah, I think he's just like, and then I turn to her and I raise my hands like, what's going on? And I don't know what she sees, but it seems very menacing all of a sudden towards her.
He's raised hands. Let's check in really quick with Ponos. What's the plan here? Within your hallucinatory terrain, you see combat. You can hear screams now. There is pain and suffering around you.
He's gonna snatch up his spear and his shield and just starts, like every good kung fu or Shaolin film, just start doing all that swirling and twirling and just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh over here, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh over here, and whoa around the head, and then whoa, is skipping over it like you're in school kind of thing, like skipping roping but with spears, and just really going to town on nothing at all.
Yes, I would say you are definitely off to the side, and like you've got a pan in one hand as your shield and a particularly long branch that you're just kind of twirling around. And to be fair, it is impressive, because you seem lost in your own world, but you're like dancing and doing all this very cool stuff.
Although it's ridiculous, it's completely serious. He is dead-faced, like you can see there is anger and fear and a genuine kind of like drilled passion for what he's doing in a way that he is not shown in anything else. This is completely serious.
Noting that. Eliana and Leo, what is the move? You have a friend consuming soil. You have another friend who is passed out. Might not have been affected by all this. Another friend that's got incredibly hostile, and Ponos is now doing what seems to be, to both of you, somewhat martially trained, a vigorous military exercise and threatening display.
So Eliana just like holding part of her face, just like feeling the throbbing from the nightmare, and just seeing that Defera is just chucking out magic and Ponos is doing some fucking does he actually have a spear and shield?
He has the pot is the shield that he sees in his vision as a grip of a larger shield. He's just holding the pot and a long stick.
Okay.
It's a good stick though. I mean, it's a solid. I mean, like as anyone who's been on a hike, you find that stick, it's like, it's a good stick. Branch.
And I'll see that, Theranos is just eating in that, Calliope's passed the fuck out. Great. She is not a problem. I'll deal with Ponos. And she'll stand up. And she'll grab her shield. And she'll walk over to Ponos. No weapon in hand.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you there, Ponos?
So to be clear, unlike Defera, Eliana is not registered to the vision, does not like an enemy combatant doesn't come up to you along with Eliana. You are simply lost in a swirl of combat in your own mind.
Sure.
Does he hear me at all?
Vivid hallucinations? I'd say it would be a perception check on his part to pull out your voice amongst the cacophony of screams and battle.
Good fucking luck.
My skills are very good, thank you. Perception. Boop.
Natural 20.
Oh my god!
But
You
negative
can-
2.
You are mid swirl and gesturing and sweeping away an enemy phantom as you hear Eliana's voice cut very clear. What's wrong with you? And it kind of sputters, but you can swear out of the corner of your eye, you can see the mountain and Eliana standing there judgingly. Like it's gone. It's kind of like one of those things like someone's thrown down a splash of blue paint into a tie-dye mixer and it gets kind of dragged along with the rest of your vision, but it is like disrupting the hallucinations.
I'd know that disdain anywhere.
Also a fair point. But what's the move?
If he's like still swinging that around, I will try to just keep the shield of his eye. I'm gonna tackle his ass to the ground.
All right, Ponos. What is the move? You're getting occasional blips and drag marks basically as Eliana seems to be like tearing small holes through the vision that kind of try to get smeared over with others.
I think if he's taking the visions seriously, he's going to kind of see these blips of Eliana like ripping into his vision or into his consciousness, and he's going to try and do his best to ignore it, really. And constantly, if you truly believe you're in the heat of battle and there's a genuine threat, and you can see someone that looks just disappointed in you, that's what you want to put out of your mind as best you can. So whenever like it starts to tear into the corner of his vision, he's just gonna like turn away or look away, cover it with the pot. So whenever Eliana's like, "What are you doing?" It's just more pot in the face. Like, no, I don't want to.
You just
no.
yeah. So as you approach, you are in a blind spot, I'd say. Because a self-inflicted blind spot by Ponos.
Great. This isn't time for your tricks or your little things you do, Ponos. And yeah, I'm just diving for like right for the waist.
I'm like a receiver gone up for the ball, and I've got all this open.
Make me an athletics check, which I assume would be unopposed if you're trying to block out. Yeah. Just
Garbage roll.
it's unopposed, so you get a grab on him. It's not like a firm grip, but you can grab him and like begin moving him to the ground. You are wearing armor still?
No, so Eliane didn't have to like sleep, but she does have to like meditate.
Right. So you're
she would be unarmored.
Okay, but an extra person's weight attached to the right parts of the human body definitely can throw off the center of gravity. Ponos, you begin to sway and fall back unexpectedly.
I think he'd probably try, again, he believes he's in the heat of battle. Even if he didn't see what hit him, he's going to try and stabilize himself and throw it off and go back to his stance.
Okay, make me athletics or acrobatics, but this is going to be not contesting.
15.
15, I'll say you're able to not fall over, but you aren't able quite yet to shake off the force you are intentionally not looking at. I want to jump really quick now over to Defera, your move.
Yeah, she's probably unintelligibly screaming, unable to reconcile what is happening, and probably to some degree very concerned for Leo. And throwing out spells as quickly as possible, trying to... You said it's rage, so she's... But Defera's the type of person where, like, when faced with things like this, she runs, so it is abnormal for her to feel as though she needs to stay.
Yes.
So...
Definitely.
you can see, Leo could probably see the panic that is coming over her, very aware of an uncontrollable desire, and she would probably express that in a way that was like, you can't understand it. Trying her best, but probably not doing it well at all. And bingo bango cast and cantrips to keep people away from her as much as possible and or attack them.
What is the cantrip this turn? Because I'm going to give Leo some moves. Well, 2-ish moves.
She would probably continue to cast Infestation.
Okay. That'd be another Constitution save on Leo.
Okay.
Unless you want to target someone else. But 17. Okay, so that is that half or no damage? I believe it should be no damage, right? No?
No damage.
Perfect. So yeah, Leo, again, the snakes come up and begin to appear around you, but you're able to
Catch
shake,
them.
yeah,
Yep.
catch the one snake and block the rest, tossing it to the side. They evaporate into magical energy just as easily as they're brought in. But yeah, what is the move, Leo?
I think Leo's confused, so he doesn't have his weapon or his shield up or anything. He was bitten first, and then the second time he's ready for it. And I think he's still just walking towards her with his hands raised. It's like, defer. What's going on? And as he's slowly just walking towards her, it's like, don't worry. I'm not going to do anything.
Why don't both Ponos, Tefera, Threnos, and Calliope make me another round of wisdom saves? Even though Threnos and Calliope are relatively
No.
I am awake.
So here's how this rolls. Ponos, you have this new weight attached to you, but you're still very much concerned about battle and vision. A memory you so recently brought up that it can't possibly be false. You are back into it. If this is a dream, it is a very vivid dream and a strange one at that, but you still feel the need to fight. Because what harm could fighting be in a dream? And Defera, you look at Leo and his concern, his wonder-bred smile, or at least concerned face, and you kind of like you said, why am I not? I should be running. Why am I attacking? Why am I attacking? Like, at all? These are the people I've sworn an oath of. Oh my God, what am I doing? Basically, like a sudden snap. It, whatever anger possessed you is just gone. Calliope, you basically, it's like someone walks back into a pitch black room and oh, the lights are off here. Switched them back on and the entire factory has lit up, like a carnival intro sequence where you pop the coin into the thing and the whole carnival pops up, and you awaken and can basically look across from you. And Threnos, that earth is good. You are growing strong. You consume the dort.
There's some serious gourmet.
You've gotten your way over to a long branch of a tree and are gnawing into it and are just like, yes, grow strong, consume like the earth. You can feel your strength coursing through your body. Or something else. But Defera, we'll start really quick with you. What is the immediate reaction you take upon coming back to your senses?
Probably uncharacteristically running forward and hugging Leo, and probably panic crying.
And then I think he embraces her. It's like, it's okay. Everyone has bad dreams.
And Okay, jumping over to Calliope. What is the move with you?
Okay, so who is still like
Threnos and Ponos both seem lost
Okay.
in a vision, or maybe Eliana is. I mean, Eliana seems to be holding on for dear life as Ponos like shakes and sways in a battle stance, swinging about a stick and pot as if fighting an illusory army all on his own.
Okay. Seeing all of this happen and how she's very disoriented, not a lot seems to be getting better. I think she's gonna do this. I think she is going to try to counter the effect of this using Song of Sorrow to charm these people, since I can cast it at will when I've got this emotion going on. Perhaps being able to charm them back to calm them down at least until the effects of the madness are done.
It's worth a shot, right? Sing me a song.
Okay. So first off, just for mechanical reasons.
Yes, of course.
I'm gonna need wisdom saves from. I can choose, so I'm only going to choose Ponos and Threnos. But yeah, just kind of the panic of it all. She's just going to kind of like close her eyes and just kind of find her zen, and just start singing like kind of like it starts as kind of a hum at first. It's not entirely confident, but they eventually erupt into words as she sings of her people. She says, "We are flying to Thylea fair, crashing waves drown out our cries. Remember me before all is lost. Gods, please hear these sweet words of mine."
And with those saves, I believe both of you begin to feel this vision in Ponos' head melts like water thrown on freshly painted graffiti, and the battle ekes away into an ethereal nothingness as your mind kind of, you stop and recognize Calliope's voice. Rather, you finally come to terms with Calliope's voice is a better way of putting it. Something you've never truly experienced before has entered your consciousness. Threnos, I don't know if Calliope has ever have sung for you, but spoken word gives a good indication of a song, but still the melody hits your ears and you find a well, it stops you from eating dirt, and that's the important part. But you again find yourself kind of for a moment and for lack of a better word, enthralled by the song. Both of you stop what you're doing and feel this dark grip on your minds lose whatever power it had over you, melting away very briefly and then forever, as all of you are free to enjoy a few brief moments of an incredibly sad and sorrowful song of the sirens.
As soon as the vision starts to melt, you can physically see that his skills with the branch and the pot kind of fade with it. And as soon as he kind of returns to a conscious state, the pot just hits the floor, just releases that. And he falls to his knees, which is awkward because he has goat legs. So I guess the knees are inverted. I'm not sure what that would look like.
It's up to you. Satyrs, as they're often depicted, do have human-like knees. But
Inverted
they can
knees.
also be reversed. Okay, sounds good to me. You fall kind of back onto your haunches, yeah.
So yeah, he kind of falls weirdly back and like folds down, and head in hands is just sobbing, listening.
Oh yeah, yours. Unless you want to do otherwise, you're still right there, basically there to calm or soothe as you want, but you are there physically.
I'll be. Eliana will sit on her knees, essentially next to Ponos, making sure he's not about to go bat poop bananas everywhere. He's just swinging. But I'm not, like, Eliana's not gonna physically contact him anymore at this moment in time.
Okay. Kira will kind of make herself and the man cowering behind her's presence known, and she calls it. So is everyone okay now? She has kind of like a motherly hand kind of hiding Pavlos and Apollo behind her.
Yeah, I think everything's fine. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm great. I mean, the people I was traveling with just went a little cuckoo, like a clock. But
Yeah.
I'm great. Bad dream?
A bad dream as he pats the fur on the back. Nothing to be concerned about, I think.
Figured she wouldn't play fair. She says, looking off into the heavens almost absent-mindedly, like it's the only place she could think to look.
She? As he follows her gaze and stuff.
She doesn't land on any constellation particular you can pick out, but she'll say, Lutheria, Lady of Dreams, Death, and Madness. As it turns out, you all figured out in your own time, she's a piece of work. And she is interpreting the rules of the oath in her own little special way, isn't she?
Oh, sounds like her and her brother have literally nothing better to do with the time.
Maybe. I don't know. I figure at least Sidon had something going on. You know, storms or haranguing some farmers or something, you know, something stupid and lazy.
Nothing better to do with the time.
Well,
Anyway.
it does bode poorly that she's paying attention so soon.
She lost her games. That's what I've heard, at least.
Perhaps it is because she's pathetic.
She's your enemy. If I could offer any advice, it's not to underestimate them. Either of them. But especially not her. She might not be all up there, but she will... It just makes her all the more dangerous, okay? We can joke about Sidon, the Lord of Storms, crapping out thunderbolts and farting gusts of wind, but I don't like to fuck with Lutheria. There's something wrong with her. Something deeply broken. And she's made it everyone else's problem.
And Eliana will look over to the still sobbing Ponos. And like, yeah, I can tell.
That's just, I don't know what she showed you, but I promise you it's just a vision. Just a twisted little thing she came up with in her head. You should get back and get as much rest as you can. If you fear sleep, she'll win. And if you don't rest, she'll win.
Well, luckily, and she'll kind of like bob her head back and forth, just, oh, goody for me. My kind is lucky enough I don't need to sleep anymore for the evening to still feel rested. The rest of you can still do it, and I'll keep watch for the rest of the evening.
I can take it with you. I know, bonus, it was yours, but consider it another well-laid plan.
Gonna, during this conversation, sort of the sniffling and the sobbing subsides to just kind of shoulder shaking, that sort of silent, ragged breathing, and eventually just a stillness. And at kind of the mention of his name and the question pointed towards him, he just picks himself up, like slams the stick into the ground, and kind of head hung low, and a very sort of low slung posture, drags himself off to the sort of a couple of meters away from where he was sleeping, kind of near the rest of the group, and throws himself down in the dirt and kind of curls up a little further off. He leaves his bare pelt behind.
Well, works for me, I guess. Seriously, you should all get some rest. We've got a long day tomorrow.
I think, yeah, Leo then tries to put Defera back to sleep, and it's like, hey, I'm fine. It's no big deal. Just a little bite marks. I'm used to it.
Farah, do you go back to sleep without comment?
Yeah, I mean, at the I'm used to it comment, she will absolutely snap out of like her emotional state and just kind of like shake her head at him and be like, what does that even mean? And like just literally walk away. Like there's like just no understanding whatsoever.
Yeah, I think he smiles even broader. It's like, I knew that would get you.
And she will, yeah, lay down to go back to sleep.
Which leaves us to the last pair, unless Eliana has anything else to do. Threnos and Calliope, one of you definitely should probably brush their teeth. And that's no comment on Calliope's breath.
Seeing Leo had got bitten. You okay?
I'm fine. A little poison, but never hurt anyone.
Actually, it has. Do you want me to check your wounds?
Actually, yeah.
And she'll, look over. Well, and like kind of start like assessing and how are you feeling?
Not bad, as he's like pointing like to the different bite marks in his body and stuff.
Do you feel nauseous? Do you feel like you can't move?
No. I feel peachy.
Okay, well, if you don't feel good in the morning, let me know otherwise. And like, her hands will start like waving over, and like a soft red light comes off as you get 11 HP.
Awesome.
Should make sure all your wounds are closed. You don't get an infection.
Yeah, those completely go away.
They'll close, and tiny bits of venom will just, pop out with them. Not that they would really take any additional effect, but it's nice to have them out of the wound.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go in a Snapchat video of Stolen.
Look over to Threnos, Liz. How's he doing?
Threnos, you have a very bad feeling in the bottom of your stomach, and you suspect it's dirt.
Yeah. Theranos will just kind of pause in mid-perch with a handful of dirt and just kind of slowly release it through his fingers, brush his hands off and the side of his face. I'm okay.
Do you want to purge?
We'll see what happens. I'll walk over and pick up Ponos's bearskin rug and walk over to him and drape it over him. And then come back to lay down.
Let me know if you need something.
And I think, then Leo goes over and sits next to Defer and just like kind of nods off, but sitting cross-legged and stuff, just like ready for anything, but just still takes his quick nap.
If the dreams get aggressive again, you'll have advantage on your initiative. But pleasantly, perhaps, they will be of sweeter things. Calliope, checking in quick.
Yeah, I mean, since all of this went down, she's just been kind of watching everything, but it just seemed super detached from all of it. And is just kind of sitting there on her knees, still like not entirely knowing what to do. And if people are going to sleep, I think that's just what she's gonna do.
Okay. All of you feel a watchful gaze over you as you sleep, and if any of you peeps an eye out, you'll see Kira keeping a bit of an extra watch along with Eliana over all of you. Never physically interacting with any, but she does kind of quietly walk the campgrounds and monitor everyone as they rest, making sure any dreams are not going to get violent again, perhaps, or at the very least that the bit of dirt that Threnos couldn't see on his face is wiped away. Not looking forward to the tummy ache that you'll get tomorrow. It's not even the third day of the festival yet. But each of you will awaken the next morning, ready to begin your third day on your trip to Estoria. The sun again peaks. Kira once again stands with a chipper tone. All right, you lazy bones. So what? You had a experience with one of the titans of death and destruction and dreams, and probably the most horrifying things you'll ever see in your life. We got a festival to go to and a king and god to speak with. Yeah, prophecies to fulfill. All the fun stuff. Let's get a move on. Get that ass in motion. And she says as she points over towards Apollo, who will bray with a degree of excitement, seemingly in response. And you'll begin making your way towards destiny, perhaps, fate, even. But you'll do it together. And that's what really matters. And I think that
is where we're going to conclude today's session of Oathsworn, our Odyssey the Dragonlords campaign over here on TPK. Thank you all so much. Players, if you would please let the absolutely wonderful chat blowing us all up with all the benefits that you can definitely, if everyone wants to keep track of, use for next session. Please keep track of those. I am a kind and benevolent DM who wants you to succeed in all things, but will definitely challenge you later. But in the meantime, why don't all my wonderful fellow storytellers let the people know where they can find you in the future coming up, because I do not have a monopoly on your time and you're doing a bunch of awesome, wonderful things out here in the world.
Okay. I was Comrade Crash. I played Leo, Human Paladin, Oath of the Dragonlord. Shoot, I should have had my calendar up.
No worries. You did great. I mean, you've been through a lot today.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything until, when's it? The end of the month? The 23rd? Wait, no. That's... Yeah, I have a little thingy, but I can wait for that one. But yeah,
wait for that one. We need to know.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I do have a name. The Heat of the Lost, with here on TPK with Osara Franker DMing. It's a one shot, and I'm excited to play on that. That's it for November. But yeah, besides
besides right here.
Yeah, besides right here. Yeah.
We wrote it back, I promise.
Yeah, I'll pass it on to Sir Heckalot.
All right, hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Heckalot, including our lovely Discord that you should definitely join. Tonight I played Calliope, the College of Epic Poetry Siren Bard, and where you can see me next is this coming Thursday with Queen's Gambit, our Tyranny of Dragons campaign. We're getting into the thick of it in Waterdeep. We've got some stuff going on, so definitely check it out. Then you can find me every other Saturday over on Neon Lights Roleplay, doing some cool other D&D stuff with the Seven Sons campaign. And yeah, that's like surprisingly all I have going on right now. It's gonna be a quiet month, so
well,
check me out in these 3 campaigns. Yeah, let's move it on over to HP.
I am Last Hit Point Hero, and I have played Thrynos, the Siren Sorcerer Demigod. And you can find me next DMing Stargate Basilisk this upcoming Friday. They will... let's see what they do in the aftermath of what Phoenix has already started. So this crossover campaign has some interactions with each other. On Saturday evening, the 6th, I will be playing under the DM of Oser X Franco for By the Old Oak Tree, which is going to be a wonderful little one-shot. And then on Monday is our joint Phoenix and Basilisk session, where the Phoenix team and the Basilisk team will get to meet face to face. So we shall see what comes from all of that. That is the immediate plans for the, well, it's all happening very quickly. Beyond that, well, I'll be back here after that, and it all loops again. That is it for me. Over to Tony.
Hello, I played Eliana. I have Dark Echoes here Saturday morning. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's always fear because it's Luca running it, so who knows. And that's pretty much me. It's Oathsworn in Dark Echoes for a while. In January something's coming up. Been working on that for a while. But other than that, I'll put it up to Al.
Thanks. I'm Aldabiffa, and I was Ponos, the silly little satyr rogue, whose curse is certainly happening. It's all the good times. Perfect. I'll be back here in a fortnight, and between now and then, I'll do nothing, which is how I like it. And of course, the news we're all waiting for. I like keeping you all up to date. So yeah, I know. 8-0.
What? What the?
8-0.
He's a god. He's a god.
I know.
Ponos is cursed, but Al is apparently not.
See, the
It's
trick
a
is,
trade-off.
play it in a league of 14 Brits. That's the key. That's how you go 8-0.
Oh boy.
Bam. We'll see if it continues, but otherwise I'll hand it on up to Chrissy.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Chrissy Fritz. I played Defera Adamos. And where else can you find me? All over TPK Discord. If somebody has not linked it, they will immediately. As well as this Thursday in Tyranny of Dragons with Sahek. And you will find me on Saturday with Last HP and Sarah. You will also find me in Madness Calls It Forth, our City of Mist campaign, which if you are not following, Proper has done some really phenomenal interactive things for the folks watching. So when you watch, pay attention to the intermission screen and the intro screen and any of the QR codes, and there's usually a website or two that he creates or a telephone number for you to call, no big deal, whatever. So it's a lot of fun if you enjoy being part of the story. And yeah, and then you can find me back here. And I think that's it.
All right.
Oh, and I'm a Jasper's Game Day ambassador now, so there's also that. So you should definitely go over and check out Jasper's, because they're amazing.
Definitely. To quickly give another shout out, because I'm going to steal something from our familial channel. Everything's a hint. Everything's a secret. Definitely support everything that everyone here is doing. I, of course, have been Turk or Turk Extended on Twitch and Twitter. If you want more of me DMing, I will refer you, of course, to the 16th. We'll be right back here in Thylea as we approach the northern gate of Estoria and the next step in our adventure. But in the meantime, I have naught but player roles to content you with. This Saturday with Dark Echoes, we'll be entering Kresk. Myself as the good Dr. Rudolf von Richten. Then a little extra hype, as I like to feed that in, even though you can't see it just yet. There will be another recording for our Core Hearts with Neon Lights, our Overarms campaign, which has been a lot of fun. A lot of JoJo's Persona energy going on there. Harper's on the 9th, and it's looking a bit ahead, but on the 24th we have Hubris of Man, our Aliens campaign with Meg Mysteria, and that has always been really fun, and it left us on a big cliffhanger this time, and there might be a whole bunch of stuff coming up in the future that is definitely worth looking into. So, as I will always and continue to recommend, keep it locked in on TPK, Neon Lights, Nat 20, any channels any of these wonderful people appear on. Follow them all on social medias, because we will let you know where you can find us. Thank you all once again for joining us tonight, today, this afternoon, however you're viewing us. And remember, even the gods are bound by oaths and prophecy. HP, if you would please take us out.